Ark Raiders, Embark's biggest project yet, set to release this year. After multiple years of development and delays, we are finally about to see what it's all about. Soon, TM. If you're a regular here though, chances are you're also a fan of Embark's other game, the Finals. So what does all of this mean for us Finals players? What's the relation between Ark Raiders and the Finals? Is there a chance of one game overshadowing the other when it comes to player count and development resources? And should we be worried about anything? Those are some of the questions we are gonna be answering today. And stick around, because I'll also drop a huge launch date prediction. I think I'm onto something here, but you'll just have to wait and see. In the meantime though, if you enjoy the Finals and potentially Ark Raiders in the future, be sure to subscribe to not miss any future content. And also come over on my streams here on YouTube. We do giveaways, playing with viewers and all sorts of fun stuff. Now let's begin. Alright, so from the start Embark have been quite secretive about this game. If you don't know by the way, Ark Raiders is a PvPvE third-person extraction shooter, set in quote-unquote lethal future Earth, ravaged by a mysterious mechanized threat known as Ark, and what we know when it comes to the narrative kinda ends here. As I said, they've been very careful with the information they release out there, as seen by the quite blank website page and the fact that all playtests have been under NDA. Wow, I haven't played in any of those. Even if I had, I wouldn't be able to tell you anything, otherwise I would be in trouble. So the only information we've been able to go over is from the trailers they've released and other discussions online. Speaking of discussions, I've heard people say that the game actually looks like the trailers. They haven't sugarcoated anything, this is just how it looks. Which honestly makes me worried, knowing what the Finals' optimization is like. The game is also set to cost $40, which already makes it have a barrier to entry. But on top of that, if you need an industrial space heater with a PC to run it, then that would surely deter a large chunk of players. But yeah, on the question of what's the relation between Ark Raiders and the Finals, from what we know of at this moment in time, almost nothing. There are two separate teams within Embark working on these games. And that's why I think there is a very small chance any game gets prioritized, quote unquote. It's Nexon who's pulling the strings from above though, so I hope they treat and finance both of them fairly. Both the Finals and Ark Raiders have a huge potential to be massive in their respective scenes if handled correctly. Especially when it comes to marketing. As you know, this has for a while been my biggest criticism towards the Finals. So they better learn from their mistakes and get it right with Ark Raiders. And I seriously hope they make a good effort to popularize both games off of each other. For example, they could have a thing in Ark Raiders that says also try the Finals. Or events where by playing one of the two games or doing a challenge, you get cosmetics or currency for the other one as well. Or they could just share cosmetics between the two games. But given the huge differences in style, gameplay and narrative, I doubt that's ever gonna happen. Anyway, do you know what all of this reminds me of? Back in the day, Fortnite had both the popular Battle Royale mode we all know of and also Save the World, which was like a whole separate game that was PvE. That game also cost $40, just like Ark Raiders, but by grinding it you could get V-Bucks, which you can spend to also buy cosmetics for the Battle Royale. The currency was shared between the two games. Fortnite Battle Royale and Save the World were both based in the same universe though. Whereas we don't have any information about anything like that with the Finals and Ark Raiders. I know a lot of you care about lore and stuff, but legit nothing has been said about a connection between our favorite game show the Finals and the world of Ark. And in my opinion, they got an insane opportunity here. I wanted to share an idea I've been thinking about recently that would actually be crazy. Just keep in mind that what I'm gonna say is just a concept of mine and not official information though. Anyway, as we know, the Finals is a virtual game show that you access through VR. And most people in the Finals universe are spending their time in VR instead of the real world, or as it's referred in the game, the meat space. But what if that set real world or meat space is essentially Ark Raiders? You may see where I'm going with this, but one of my favorite movies of all time is Ready Player One. Go watch that if you haven't, by the way. But yeah, essentially how I would imagine it is that these outcast people, or raiders as Embark calls them, venture out into this apocalyptic, overtaken by hostile robots Earth and fight for resources and weapons to trade with and make a living. You know how extraction shooters usually go. And while this is happening, all the normal people are hiding somewhere, in underground bunkers for example, and they are chilling in the virtual world, watching or even competing in the finals. But yeah, as we know from the finals, Embark love to put in little Easter eggs and slowly uncover the story, and they truly have a big potential to tell an amazing story with Arc Raiders. This combined with great playing experience, which Embark are yet to fail to provide, and we are certainly set for a successful game. In addition to this, extraction shooters are at this point a tested and proven formula. It's way easier to learn from other players in the scene on how to make a successful game than to launch something completely unique, like the finals, which is a huge gamble. But that's exactly what makes the finals so special for me though. What I'm trying to say is, look at Tarkov. This game's been out for ages, and it's still got a solid player base. So there is certainly a large market for this. In fact, probably to the point where Arc Raiders could surpass the finals in players. The $40 price tag worries me a bit though, but we'll see how things will turn out. As you know, gamers are more drawn to something they are already familiar with, rather than something completely new. This may be why the finals hasn't blown up to mainstream yet, but I still have hope there. This fact opens the gates for Arc Raiders though. And to add to that, some people actually prefer to pay an upfront price once and not have to worry about a live service game that relies on constant microtransactions. And as a matter of fact, you often receive a more finished product that way. Also, the price tag would surely help deterring away cheaters too, as when they get banned, they can't just make another account and play immediately. So all things considered, if it all goes to plan, I would say that in the long term, Arc Raiders and the finals could both coexist, with decent in size player bases, but in no way groundbreakingly huge, like Fortnite back in the day for example. And that's perfectly fine in my opinion. So yeah, all of this sounds great, but when is it coming? I promised you an educated prediction, so here we go. There are two big things that Embark have announced to do this year, in 2025. And that's, as mentioned previously, the launch of Arc Raiders and also the finals major tournament with 100k prize pool. So my assumption is that the tournament will happen first. That would already gather a lot of hype and a big audience, so it would only make sense for them to also make some kind of promotion for Arc Raiders there. Maybe an announcement for open beta or just straight up release date. And then the game will release soon after that. This sure sounds like a great plan to me, but when will that the finals major happen? Well, the official date for it has not been announced yet. Even if Embark go ahead and give us a date this month, the earliest guess I can make is during the summer, so there are multiple months for the teams to prepare and go through qualifiers, and obviously for everyone to get tickets and schedule hotels for the place it's gonna be held at and stuff. Organizing a big esports tournament is certainly a lengthy process, but I'm honestly so hyped for it. Smash like if you are too. So yeah, I said Arc Raiders is coming after that, but when exactly? Well, my best guess is honestly the holiday season. It just makes a ton of sense in my opinion. That's when people usually have free time and kids are out of school. Also, it's a $40 game, so many teenagers for example may request that as a Christmas gift. A holiday season launch just makes way too much sense. I mean, that's what they did with the finals, and you can't argue with the player count back then. Whether Arc Raiders will manage to maintain a player count like that though, is a question for another day, but I certainly hope so. Now, you may just say, the game is gonna get delayed again. Well, to be honest, I don't think so. Embark have been persistent with these kinds of stuff. The finals was set to release in 2023, and by October or November that year everyone was assuming it's also gonna get delayed. But it dropped out of nowhere, during the Game Awards in December. If they didn't break their promise with the finals, why would they with Ark Raiders? Especially knowing how long the game's been in development, and they still have many months to go. So yeah, are you also hyped for Ark Raiders, and do you agree with my predictions? As always, leave your thoughts in the comments. So anyway boys, I'm sorry if at times my tone sounded a little bit down in this video. I've been dealing with some stuff IRL, but regardless of that, my passion for making content is what keeps me going. So I wanna take this moment to thank you all for your kind comments and messages in my stream chat. They really help a lot, and I appreciate it. You're truly amazing, and I really wanna do more for y'all. I actually managed to get a week off work, so maybe expect a little shorter wait till my next video, and also some streams. My mental health could really use it as well, so that's a huge bonus. On top of that, prepare for a big announcement soon, as I've just started working on something huge, and I think a lot of you are gonna like it. Anyway, while we are still on a positive note, a close friend of mine is currently in the process of moving in with me, so I won't be living alone anymore. And he's a really funny dude, so I'm sure there will be hilarious content coming off of that. But yeah, if you're hearing this, as always, thank you so much for watching till the end. I really appreciate it, and I would give you a hug if I could. I wish you a wonderful day or night, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.